Social media is not important. Choosing the right type of social media is what's important. Because if you're not careful, you're going to spend all of your time as a speaker chasing social media metrics rather than doing your real impactful work, speaking to people, influencing them, and changing their lives. I remember when I first started as a speaker, I didn't have a clue what my social media strategy was going to be. You know how on your phone you have the icons on your touchscreen, and then you can create a compilation icon that's 9 separate apps in the one square? I couldn't fit my social media into those 9 spaces. That's how dispersed and completely unstrategic my social media strategy was. Over time though, I started to siphon out some of those social medias and identify which ones were the key ones, and most importantly, why they were the key social medias. And this is going to be a really important question for you. Back then, I wasn't dealing with the new social medias that were coming in, your TikToks and your Clubhouses. And as you continue as a speaker, you're going to have these new ones to think about, and there will be more in the future that you also have to think about. How can you make the right decision whether to stick with some established platforms or to venture into these new platforms? And how do you find that balance of time? You don't want to be spending your time as a social media manager. You want to be spending your time as a speaker. And so I'm going to tell you about the 3 types of social media that you need as a speaker. And this is it. 3 types. Once you've got those, don't go chasing after the next hot thing. Don't go experimenting with the new hot platform just because it's new. Stay the course. Stick with what works for you as a speaker, and most importantly, allows you to reach your audience. So let's uncover what these 3 types of social media actually are. The first type of social media you need is a broadcast social media. And as the name suggests, this is a social platform that literally allows you to broadcast your message. Prime example, we're on it right now. Here on YouTube, I can create a video that you can watch where I broadcast a message, where I share something that I think is useful, impactful, meaningful to the audience. And I can reach anyone in the world with this broadcast. That's what you want from your social media. And you want at least one platform, such as YouTube, that's going to allow you to do that. The second type of social media you want is an interaction platform. Here right now, I'm broadcasting a message, and we can create a little bit of a feel as if I'm talking to you and just you. You can feel that, can't you? But ultimately, there isn't really the opportunity to interact here. In this moment, you can't speak to me. And that's really important as a speaker, that you have the opportunity for your audience to interact with you rather than just you monologuing information at them. So you want an interaction platform that allows you to do this. Here we're thinking of something more like Twitter. As opposed to YouTube, where it's just, here's a video, and yes, you can maybe get some responses to the video in the comments. On Twitter, you can tag people, you can retweet, you can leave comments. Twitter has much more of a conversational element to it than it does here on YouTube. So you want to have that type of social media as well, where you can have that interaction with your audience. I'll tell you about the third type of social media platform in just a moment, but if you're wanting to get more information and ultimately more help in making some decisions about social media platforms, well, you can see it coming onto screen now. I talk about this a lot more in my book, Rise and Inspire. Chapter 7 in particular is all about your audience as a speaker, and there's a big section in there that really breaks down how to make the right social media choices for you. As I said, we don't want you to be a social media manager here. We want you to be a speaker. And social media absolutely facilitates the act of being a speaker. You can reach people anywhere in the world thanks to the wonders of technology. But don't get bogged down in it. That's what this book is going to help you do. Help you clarify where you can find your audience, and what the best ways to communicate with them are. Rise and Inspire, #1 Amazon bestseller, is available, surprisingly, on Amazon in ebook, audiobook, paperback, all of the books. They're all there. To get your copy, just click the link in the comments below. Now let's return to our social media platforms, and I'm going to share with you what the third type of platform you need as a speaker is. The third type of social media platform that you need to have is a community platform. Think of a Facebook group. You want to have the ability to not just broadcast a message, not just to have audiences speak to you. You want to actually bring everything together in a community. This is the difference between just being a speaker and being a leader. I think that all leaders are speakers, but not necessarily all speakers are leaders. If you want to have a real meaningful impact, you've got to bring people together, and you can't really do that with a YouTube account, and you can't really do that with a Twitter account either. You need that community bringing people together, and then the communication is much more than just two-way. It's not me speaking to you, it's not you speaking to me, it's us speaking together. And you want to create that space, because when you create that space, that's what people really get attracted to, and that's what they resonate with. Despite what metrics might tell you nowadays, I don't think people really flock to influencers just because of what the influencers might say. They flock to influencers because there's a feeling of being in it together. And you get all of the, the catchy followings and tribes and hashtag this tribe, hashtag that tribe. There's a reason why these hashtags get created, because you've got to have that community feel if you want to be a person of influence. I don't particularly like the term influencer. I'd rather you saw yourself as a leader. See yourself as someone who leads people, and you've got to have a movement to lead. And bringing that together in a community is the way to do it. And that's all that you need as a speaker. You don't need to be struggling for space on your touchscreen, wondering, where am I going to fit this new social media app on my home screen? 3 social medias: a broadcast, an interactive, and a community platform. And you know what the great thing is? Some platforms fill more than one of those criteria. So you don't even necessarily need to be on 3 different platforms. Some platforms give you a little extra bang for your buck. Don't spend your time as a social media manager. There's plenty of other people who are so much more skilled and talented at that than you are. What you're skilled and talented at is communicating a message, is making an impact, is inspiring people to change. That's what you should spend your time on. Get off the social media, start speaking, and that is where you're going to make your difference.